Good afternoon. Welcome to Channel 8 Sports and East Brunswick High School football. Hi, I'm John Meggiolaro, being joined again by Phil Hill and Jim Allinder for today's game, East Brunswick against Piscataway. And before we start off, as many of you know, this game was originally scheduled for Friday night and was moved back to today, Sunday afternoon, in really tribute to a player from East Brunswick's team, Matt Black, who was tragically killed last week in a car accident. And I know I speak for Phil and Jimmy when we say that we send our sincerest sympathies to the Black family, friends, and classmates over this loss. Gentlemen, we start off here with East Brunswick playing Piscataway. They haven't played the Chiefs in a long time. Piscataway coming into the GMC Red Division, having the last several years been in the Mid-State Division. So, Phil, tell us a little bit about the Piscataway Chiefs.
Well, Piscataway has always been a tough team. Surprisingly, coming in GMC, they haven't done that well. And I asked Coach Higgins, did he think the GMC was tougher? He said no. He said even with the team he had last year, it would have been tough coming to a new conference because his players don't know the players and a lot of new things to adjust to. I have to believe that the GMC is just a tougher conference. They lost to Searleville. They got bombarded by Madison Township, and they just haven't had an easy time. And I think Coach Higgins is realizing there's quite a difference.
Phil, they come in, I believe the record is 1-2.
1-3.
1-3.
Right.
And yet they've been a up and down kind of team, even in the losses.
They've been an up and down kind of team, but anybody who's played Piscataway before know they can surprise you at any time. They may really be feeling their way around. They have some big time players. They have this receiver, Kearney, number 82, and he can beat you. And the Bears have to guard against that. They have a quarterback, Alan Payne, who can pass the ball. So, and they have a nice running back named Cook that can be a speedster as well. So they can do some things. They just have to put it together. So who knows when they're going to do that.
Jimmy, when we look over at East Brunswick, we saw him last week at Perth Amboy in a very cold and damp day. Started off like gangbusters. Perth Amboy got back into the game, and then finally it took a while before East Brunswick put him away.
Yeah, I like to think that second half is a good indication of the way East Brunswick will play for the remainder of this season. A lot of important games coming up, including this one today, obviously. Phil, I wanted to just say, as far as Piscataway coming into the conference and not being familiar with the teams, well, so too are the teams not from East Brunswick and the rest of the Red Division not familiar with Piscataway.
Good point.
So let's throw that out the window. We are in a great conference here in Middlesex County, the Red Division being a fantastic conference also. The quality is some of the best in the state. Now, with respect to East Brunswick today, you alluded to the loss of Matt Black, and it is an emotional time for the team, no doubt about it, the players. And emotion can work both two ways, actually. It can work for you, as we know, and it can work against you. And I think East Brunswick is going to have some sort of balance today. Let's not worry about the size of the margin. East Brunswick has already shown that it can play and play well. I think the kids are going to have to just concentrate, focus on the task at hand, go up and do the things that they can do best. And I'm hoping that that's going to be the situation today.
Jimmy, everyone healthy for today's game?
As far as I know, yes. Everybody seems to be in good shape. We know that really East Brunswick had not been able to show its passing attack, or at least the receivers, with Ramon Trent, Dave Potter, and Joe Giroux in there all at one time, except for the opening game against Cherokee.
Right.
They are back. They are all healthy. I believe it's a beautiful day here, Sunday afternoon. Just a slight breeze. Shouldn't be enough to cause the passing game to be a problem. As far as the running is concerned, Dave Goldstein is really starting to emerge as a top back. He has 3 touchdowns in each of the last 2 games, has run for over 100 yards, and now East Brunswick has a weapon that maybe they didn't think they had at the beginning of the season.
Well, okay, we're about ready to go then down on the field, East Brunswick and Piscataway, and we'll be back in just a moment. Well, good afternoon. We're just a few minutes away from kickoff, East Brunswick and Piscataway. You see the Bears warming up on the sideline. You may also notice that each of the players has a number 10 on their helmet, again out of respect for the death of Matt Black. Piscataway now getting ready to come out onto the field. And Jimmy, you mentioned it before, a beautiful afternoon for a football game.
It really is a magnificent afternoon for football. And really, I can't remember a better day this season anyway for the Bears to play a game. It's been a matter of rain against Saraville. Of course, we ended in a downpour against Cherokee the opening game. We talked about Saraville being played in a downpour. You move on. Perth Amboy last week was really just a cold, wet, raw afternoon. I don't know if it affected the players. I think East Brunswick did find themselves a little bit that game, and we're looking for a continuation of that offensive output.
And we should point out to our audience, I would think most people know this, but we do these games outside. We are not covered or have the benefit of any shelter, so with inclement weather, we are unable to tape the games for you, and that's why we were unable to do the Saraville and Perth Amboy games, for example. But today's ideal. This is the kind of weather that I know we enjoy, and I'm sure the fans and players do as well. Phil, what kind of offense can we expect from Piscataway?
Piscataway will run a balance type offense. They'll throw a lot of different things at you. They have a stable running game, and they're not afraid to pass, John. In talking to Coach Tom Higgins, he wouldn't really reveal too much about his team, but based on the past few games, they're pretty balanced.
Okay, you see Brian Forte and Mark Harmon, the captains for East Brunswick, out at the center of the field.
John and Phil, I'd like to watch the offensive line for East Brunswick, at least in the initial time that they have the ball. We've been told that they've been much maligned, and they did have an excellent game last week against Perth Amboy, but it has become very apparent that if teams want to have any success against East Brunswick, they have got to get to Brian Forte very, very quickly, and they will try to flush him out as much as possible. But now with the way Goldstein has been running the ball, I don't think they can totally focus on Forte, the quarterback. They have to stop the running game. East Brunswick will probably try to establish that running game first and then open up with the pass.
All right, the Bears have won the toss and will receive. They'll be moving from right to left on your screen. Again, East Brunswick in the dark green home jerseys. Piscataway in the white.
Good size club, too. They have some nice size.
Piscataway, rather, was pretty much the terror of the Mid-State Conference over the last several years and have always put out a quality product regardless of the sport.
Well, we can't forget Franklin Township.
John. Good point, particularly this year.
Yeah. Oh, dear. And I see some members of the Madison Central Club have arrived and will be watching with interest. I think, go ahead, John, I was going to say.
No, I was just saying that East Brunswick's moving out. You'll see back deep for the Bears, as we've become accustomed. Ramon Trent, number 3, Dave Goldstein, number 23, and Troy White, number 7, will be the deep men. Joe DeVito, number 22, will be that middle man.
Well, this is the first time we've seen Trent back there in several games, John. He's had some injuries, and I think last game they just didn't want to risk it, but he's back there now, and so let's see if we get something going.
You see Piscataway huddling up, getting ready to kick the ball off. The kicker will be number 33, Wayless Ligon.
And it'll take a little while for the crowd to get into this game. But, and I was talking to a couple of coaches there before the game. They said about just a couple of hits and things are going to get back to normal for this East Brunswick team.
All right, we're about ready to go. Ligon with the kickoff. Short. Trent will field it at the 17. He'll keep it. Still on his feet, down close to the 30-yard line, and East Brunswick will go on offense. Let's call it 1st and 10 at the East Brunswick 30. Trent and Drew go wide left. Split back formation. Forte's going to put up in the air and being pressured right away. Gets away from one tackler. Looks up deep for Trent. And right out of his hands. And it may bring up the point of the sun. Ramon had to look right up into the sun for that pass.
Well, he certainly did. It's a terrific pass by Forte. He comes out, John, with the play action. And I got the feeling we're going to see an awful lot of passing today. It's ideal conditions for it.
Really is. I think Ramon looked a little surprised that the pass was coming at him. He timed that jump just a little bit early.
2nd and 10 for the Bears. Same formation. Goldstein, right side. Pick up 3 yards. Bring up 3rd down for the Bears. Start of the first period.
And you got to believe that they passed on that 1st down to loosen up that line to get them, push them back a little bit because.
Well, there was a rush, no doubt about it.
3rd and 7 for the Bears on their own 33.
Here they come.
Forte straight back. A little swing pass for DeVito. Joey just couldn't catch up to it.
Ooh, dear Lord. If he had caught that, Giroux was in a great position to block his man, and I think Joe DeVito would have been on the way to a touchdown.
I must say that's the first time we've seen that play this year, and I like it.
The little swing out of the backfield?
Yeah.
Certainly if a opponent is not ready for that, it looks to be single-man coverage and could go for a long distance.
All right, Forte will do the punting on 4th down. Grant, number 11, and number 20, Cook, are back deep for Piscataway. Forte gets off an excellent punt. Fair catch called for by Cook, and he'll let the ball roll around. It's going to be inside the 10-yard line.
According to my count, that's a 63-yard kick.
Just a superb punt.
You don't even see that in the pros.
So the Chiefs will go on offense for the first time this afternoon. The ball sitting at their own 7-yard line. Payne, number 10, is the quarterback. We'll try to pick up the rest of the players for you as we go. Thompson is the up front man in that I formation. Cook is in the back position. This is Thompson. Thompson gets up to the 10-yard line.
Well, if Piscataway has nothing else, they have speed. Every year they're always a quick team, and let's see how the offensive line holds up for them.
Well, this kid, Eldridge Thompson, the fullback, is 5'9", 140 pounds, and they say he's a tough one. At 140 pounds, he better be tough if he's playing fullback, I tell you.
Sure.
Pickup of 3 for Thompson. It'll be 2nd and 7 for the Chiefs. Ball just resting on their own 10-yard line. I formation again. Set a man in motion. Payne looking and throws it into the ground. He was looking for Kearney, number 82.
Well, I don't like to make a statement early on, but just based on that pass right there, it doesn't look like the passing play is one of the strongest parts of Piscataway's game.
Well, Higgins insists that he has an excellent passer in Payne. You're right, Jimmy. It didn't look too well there, but he had pressure put on him, particularly by Tom Joe Hinkins, who had a super game against Perth Amboy last week.
The whole defensive line played
They
well.
sure did.
Bring up 3rd and 7 now for the Chiefs. Weaver out wide. Kearney to the right. Payne dropping back. Looking. He's got Weaver. 1st down.
That was better. And as you mentioned, Philly had time.
He had time and nice motion on that pass. Just a beautifully thrown pass.
So 1st down at the 25-yard line for Piscataway.
And Piscataway may be a team that's trying to find himself, as I pointed out in the top of the game, John, and they may just be coming around themselves. The Bears have to guard against the big play. As we know in the past, the big play has been the thing that has beaten the Bears before, and they have to guard against that against a team like Piscataway.
We're down to 9:20, first period, no score, East Brunswick Piscataway. Piscataway just picking up a 1st down to keep their opening drive alive. Kearney comes wide right. He's their key receiver. Weaver in the slot. Little counter move, and that's Cook. Cook picks up about 5 yards. And so far, Piscataway looks pretty good. Let's call it 2nd and 5. The ball on Piscataway 31. This is Thompson.
Who?
I'm sorry, that was Alberton.
And
Alberton, rather, number
right.
44.
And give credit to the initial hit by Scott Bernardi, who has really developed into a fine player for East Brunswick, one of the more valuable players on the team.
Well, he's become consistent, and that's what you look for in a player, consistency.
No gain on the play, so it'll bring up 3rd and 5. Carney split wide right. Weaver in motion. Payne dropping back, has some time, looks over the middle. He's got his man, number 81, that's Hamlet. James Hamlet.
Good pass completion under pressure there. East Brunswick was coming in.
I'll tell you, nice pass, nice reception by Hamlet.
First down, Piscataway.
And you're right, Jimmy. This quarterback Payne looks like if he has time, like most quarterbacks, he can do a job on you. They got to put more pressure on him.
Ball spotted at the Piscataway 43. Still in that I formation. Weaver in motion. And he takes the play. Fumble on the play. East Brunswick's got it. That's Sean Smith. Sean Smith with the fumble recovery.
And I tell you, give Greg Rulo credit for a big tackle there. A big hit by Greg Rulo, number 40 there, to jar the ball loose.
So East Brunswick takes over on the Piscataway 40, 1st and 10. No score, 7:08 to go here in the first period. Trent wide right. Drew to the left in the slot position. Forte looking. He's got Trent over his head. Bring up 2nd down.
I'll tell you, the Bears haven't practiced since Wednesday, and their timing seems to be a little bit off, and that's to be expected, but I reckon they'll settle down, John.
Now Trent and Drew are to the right side. Fake to Goldstein. Forte still has it. He's going to run with it. He's got plenty of room. He's got the whole left side.
Look at his speed.
Forte's got the 1st down and more as he goes out of bounds at about the 15-yard line.
25-yard run.
1st down, East Brunswick.
It's their first down of the game.
And Forte caught the Piscataway defense going one way, cut back against the grain, and picked up good yardage.
Trent and Drew again to the right. Split wide right, I formation. DeVito and Goldstein. This is Goldstein. Off tackle. Close to 5 yards.
Some real good blocking up front. Gave Goldstein room to run.
Bring up 2nd down. Ball spotted on the Piscataway 10-yard line.
All right, Mike Diello was one of the players in there. Rosario Chetta.
Same formation. Goldstein again, this time off the right side. Close to the 5-yard line.
Phil Miller, 68. Great block on his part. And, of course, the center, Dave Clark, 56.
Ball will be spotted at the 6. It'll be 3rd down and about a yard for the Bears. Looking to get on the board first tonight.
And a new face that I see in there, number 72, Mike Napchin, is playing left tackle for East Brunswick. Excuse me. Yes, left tackle.
Drew now to the left. Trent to the right. DeVito
Joey's got the first down. I believe a flag was thrown.
Yes, there was.
Probably will be a holding or a face mask. Personal foul, face mask against Piscataway.
Well, that'll advance it half the distance, but there won't be too much yardage here.
And I got to tell you, you got to like the way the offensive line is doing the job up front there.
So, based off a fumble recovery by Sean Smith, East Brunswick looking to get on the board. The ball resting at about the 1 yard line. And Sean Smith's in the backfield. Look for them to go to the left side, and they do behind Smith. This is Goldstein. He sneaks in. Touchdown, East Brunswick. Yes, Dave Goldstein.
We were waiting there for the call. A couple of those big Piscataway players were clogging up the view of the referee.
Dave's Goldstein for 1 yard out.
And you give Sean Smith a lot of credit on that. He was the lead blocker, and Goldstein just followed on his coattail for the touchdown.
And that's Goldstein's, I believe, 7th touchdown this year.
Correct.
Second in the last 3 games. Excuse me, 7th in the last 3 games.
Dan Levine for the extra point. Snap is high, but the kick is through. And a nice placement by Greenberg. 7-0 East Brunswick.
And let's say something about place kicker Dan Levine. Had just an outstanding game last week against Perth Amboy. Connected on field goals of 45, 42 yards, and I believe a 27-yarder. And just missed eclipsing Josh Miller's 47-yard school record. But so now we put Dan Levine as having kicked the second and third longest field goal.
Well, not only that, Jimmy, it's hard to believe there's a better kicker in the state. The fact is, Dan Levine hasn't missed on anything, not an extra point or not a field goal attempt this year, and that's just superb.
And the little guy, well, I better watch what I say about little. But I'll tell you what, he doesn't have a lot of size, but he really gets a lot of kick out of his foot. It's he's starting to become a guy you can go to in the crunch time for East Brunswick.
Reliable, consistent.
You got it.
All right, so with 5:08 to go, first period, East Brunswick gets on the scoreboard, 7-0. And they'll kick off to Piscataway. Back deep is Cook, number 20, and he's the guy they want to handle the ball.
Feel good to see that drive was totally on the ground.
All right.
Levine to kick it off. See if he can get this into the end zone. And it's going to be close. Cook will field it at the 2. They reverse it to Grant, number 11. And Grant's cut short of the 15-yard line.
Right, good kick coverage by the East Brunswick team. Stayed in their lanes, as they well should. That's the way you cover the reverse.
Bob Zimmerman getting a piece of the ball carrier, enough to knock him down.
So Piscataway will have the ball for the second time this afternoon. Had a nice drive going until a fumble. Down to 4:50, first period. I formation. That's Motley in motion. Payne looking, being pressured, trying to get out of the pocket, and he's going to be snowed under.
Yeah, Joe Hankins was the first one to get to him, but he had pressure all the way.
All the way.
And that's the type of pressure you're talking about, right, Phil?
That's right. We've talked about Joe Hankins early on in the season. He's made quite a few mistakes, but that Perth Amboy game last week, he had 3 sacks, and he looks like he's arrived, Jimmy.
Yeah. Very, very strong and quick.
A loss on the play. Piscataway now will be looking at a 2nd and 14. Ball spotted at their own 8-yard line. Quick count. This is Cook trying to keep his feet. Slips. Troy White on the play, and it looks like Troy is down his ankle possibly.
Troy came up to make the tackle, and as the Cook made his cut, Troy's foot went out from under him, and looks like he may have sprained an ankle. And he's in pain, John.
I'm scanning the roster here. Troy White is 2nd string quarterback.
Yes, he is.
Now, of course, Black being gone. Who is the third string quarterback for East Brunswick? Who has gotten some playing time?
It could well be
Is it Pete Forte?
Pete
Brian's
Forte
brother?
or Jimmy White. I'm not sure. I
Right.
would think it's Jimmy White, number 11. I saw him warming up.
Well, we don't know.
I have to be
pregame.
honest, I hadn't asked.
Well, we'll see. See what Phil Hostler, if he can work some magic on this ankle.
Well, the way they're taking off Troy White, he needs assistance here.
He's a tough young man. We'll see. And we'll get back to the action. It will be 3rd down and 9 for Piscataway.
And I believe Pat Casanelli will be taking his place in the defensive backfield, number 33.
Troy White, a valuable member of that secondary.
Weaver goes to the right. Carney to the left. Payne drops straight back, has some time, thrown deep for Carney. It's
Ooh,
it's caught.
What a catch.
What a catch. Carney takes it away from Trent as that ball was just hung up there. It was almost like a jump ball in basketball.
I'll tell you, Jay Carney, he's 6'2", 185 pounds, and Coach Tom Higgins says he is a true Division I prospect. He says he's a blue chipper. I don't know if he's a blue chipper, but the way he went up for that ball and made that catch, looks like he can play.
Really was anybody's ball.
Well, it gives Piscataway a 1st down at their own 43, gets him out of a hole. This is Thompson on the pitch, fights his way, picks up about 6 yards.
Good hard running by Thompson.
And East Brunswick will have to regroup right now and see if they can play with the same intensity that had Piscataway in trouble deep in their own territory.
Ball spotted at midfield. It'll be 2nd and 4 for the Chiefs.
You know, Phil, excuse me, John, I was going to say on that that pass completion before, Joe Hankins just missed getting the quarterback.
Piscataway trailing 7-0, and they're going to take a timeout here to get regrouped. Payne will go over to the sideline. And with that break, I have an announcement to make. The East Brunswick band parents would like us to remind everyone that here at East Brunswick High School on November 5th, there will be a high school band competition from bands all over the state. That's Saturday, November 5th, and it starts at 6 o'clock. And if you'd like to hear some good music and see some outstanding bands, come up and join us. That's November 5th at 6 o'clock, East Brunswick High School.
And I'm looking at Troy White, and he is in some severe discomfort down there. Phil Hostler is applying ice to that ankle.
And you have to wonder if Piscataway is going to try to capitalize on White being out on this wide open right side here and split Kearney out to the right and try to pick up something, a big play here on the new player, Pat Casanelli, being in.
All right, when play resumes, it'll be 2nd down and 4 for Piscataway. Ball right at midfield. They trail 7-0 with 2:16 to go here in the first period. Carney comes out to the right, and Trent's going to stay on him. Payne gives it to Thompson, the up front man in the eye. Ball's loose. East Brunswick's got it.
Yes, that's Bernardi, Scott Bernardi on the fumble recovery.
A delayed reaction, and Bernardi heads up play. 2nd turnover for Piscataway.
So Piscataway, John, showing ability to drive against East Brunswick, but coughing the ball up twice.
And it's a problem that they've had in their previous game, turnovers, John, just turning the ball over too often. And I've already, as you pointed out, 2 times, and let's see if this one hurts them.
All right, the ball at the East Brunswick 39, 1st and 10. Giroux and Trent to the left. Right up the middle goes Goldstein. Picks up 6 yards.
Let's call it 5 yards. It'll be 2nd and 5. East Brunswick's looking good on the ground this afternoon. 2nd down and 5 now. Ball at the East Brunswick 45-yard line. Quick pitch. Goldstein left side. Just short of the 1st down.
That was Napchin on the outside left tackle applying the block that was able to spring Goldstein loose for about 3 yards.
I noticed something last game in this. It appears that Marcus Borden is shuffling in plays through tight end Dave Potter and Brett Charleston. And they've gone away from those hand signals. Anyway, it's 3rd and about 2 for the Bears. They'll go with Goldstein around the left side. He's got the 1st down and is taken out of bounds in Piscataway territory.
Bears come back with the same identical play and picked up that all-important 1st down.
Well, it's become very evident that Dave Goldstein is the workhorse back for East Brunswick. Already he has 7 carries in this game. It's still, well, we're winding down to the end of the 1st quarter.
And Mike Napton making a good block on there to free Goldstein.
It's just the identical play the East Brunswick had the previous play.
1st and 10 for the Bears. Ball on the Piscataway 45. 40 seconds to go here in the 1st period as Trent goes in motion. Forte looking, steps up. He's looking for Trent deep. Oh, just outside him, right off the fingertips. Ball was there.
I tell you, we got an interesting battle going on here. When Kearney's on offense, Trent is covering him man-to-man, and when Trent is on offense, Kearney's doing likewise. So that should make for an interesting battle all day. No matter where one goes, the other follows.
Just off the fingertips of Ramon Trent, bring up 2nd and 10. Feldman now comes in for Trent. He and Giroux are to the right. DeVito fights his way, picks up 5 yards.
Joey DeVito might remind you of a bucking horse going through that line there. Has a unique style.
I don't know if we'll get the playoff, John.
Down to 15 seconds. 3rd and about 5 for the Bears. Ball on the Piscataway 40. Forte rolling right.
Whoa, he's got room on this side.
He'll turn now. Lofting it for Charleston.
Ooh!
And a great defensive play by Cook to end the 1st period.
I'll tell you, they didn't complete that play, John, but then another example of how Brian Forte has matured. Just a beautiful touch pass there. Laid it right in the hands practically of Brett Charleston. The defender made a good play, and he couldn't come up with it, but just a nice touch on that pass.
Yeah, Piscataway's defensive secondary has been doing a very, very nice job. You know, Forte is 0 for 5, and at least 3 or 4 of those passes could have been completed if it hadn't been for the reaction of the Piscataway defense.
So we complete one here at J. Doyle Field. The Bears on top, 7-0. And they're on the move once again. The ball is on the Piscataway 40.
4th down. You wonder if the Bears are going to go for this.
It's 4th and about 5.
I suspect they are. There's really they've been. You almost think that they're going to break one of these passes, and it's just very, very close in each situation. You know, a tip here or a tip there, and it could go for a big play for East Brunswick. Now Piscataway is sending two players back in deep position to receive a punt.
And there's always that possibility of a fake when you have Brian Forte doing the punting. We'll see how East Brunswick wants to play this. 4th and 5 on the Piscataway 40. They line up in punt formation.
Watch Joey DeVito, number 22, on your right side, near side here.
No, they will punt. Forte puts it up high. Fair catch called by Cook. And he'll take it at the 14-yard line.
Boy, what touch on that punting. I mean, he can hit them long. he placed that just right in a good position.
So Piscataway, who has shown a lot of offense, yet they have nothing on the board, will take over again deep in their own territory. 2 fumbles have really hurt them. But they're only down by a touchdown. Be 1st and 10 on their own 14. As we start the second period. Carney to the right. Thompson, and he's buried right away.
Boy, that was a collision. Tom Jehankins just nailed the runner.
And a loss on the play of almost 3 yards. Let's call it 2nd and 13. Piscataway has had their backs to their end zone the whole game.
Have to be careful of a play action pass here to Kearney. Looks like a running situation, but I'd be leery of that.
Kearney comes out to the left now. Trent is on him. Payne is going to put it up in the air. Steps up. Throws deep for Kearney. And they're going to call interference on Trent. No doubt about it. That'll give Piscataway a 1st down.
Well, Ramon had taken his eye off the ball and really was not in a position to be able to judge whether or not he could either intercept it or break it up, so he did the next best thing in his estimation, and that was interfere with the pass receiver.
And the ball will be marked off from the line of scrimmage.
Well, I mentioned earlier, that's a one-on-one battle there, and Ramon just lost him completely, to tell the truth. And when he turned around, Kearney was breaking back for the ball, and Ramon just smothered him before the ball got there.
East Brunswick line is applying the pressure. They're just a split second late. I noticed that they're doing some juggling. Bernardi has been playing on the line, and on other occasions he's been playing as an up linebacker. So they are flipping some people around in there.
1st and 10 for Piscataway now on their own 26. 1st down coming off the penalty. Weaver in motion. Payne looking, throws it to Kearney. And I think it'll be short of the 1st down. He stepped out of bounds. In fact, he only picked up about 5 yards. Bring up a 2nd down. Phil, you got to wonder, why would you throw that play to the short side of the field with a guy like Kearney?
Well, the guy like Kearney can break it just about any time there, and if they figured they could catch him one-on-one out there, they take advantage of his athletic ability.
2nd and 5 for Piscataway. The ball on their own 33. They trail 7-0 here in the second period. J. Doyle Field. Payne has it, a little option play, keeps it, and may have the 1st down. And it is 1st down, Piscataway.
Well, that's the first time we've seen that. I don't know if it was an option or a broken play, John. Looked like he was either trying to hand off and decide to keep it.
Well, now that the crowd has arrived here, stands are very decently filled.
And one might wonder where the Piscataway fans are. Well, they have that fantastic band that's involved in the festival today, and they have as many fans as the football team.
They really are an excellent band.
1st down, Chiefs on their own 37. Slowly chipping away. Payne, deep drop. Ball's knocked out of his hand. It's going to be intercepted.
That's 55 for East Brunswick. Boy, look at him take it.
55.
Mark Rulo.
Rulo on the interception.
3rd turnover goes in East Brunswick's favor.
And I tell you, give Constantino O'Donnell some credit there, because I believe he's the player that tipped that ball.
He was, and Piscataway, it seems like on each 1st down, has been going to the pass. This time East Brunswick was ready for it.
More importantly, it's their 3rd turnover of the game and gives East Brunswick a 1st down on the Piscataway 9.
Call it 14, John.
Sorry, 14, you're right, Jim. Giroux to the left. Trent to the right. Forte, short drop, looking for Giroux in the corner. Oh, just out of his hands. Beautiful pass.
Beautiful pass right there.
It was there. Sooner or later, that pass is going to connect. It really is.
It was almost sooner right there. As Drew went down, the ball came loose.
2nd and 10 for the Bears. If you're Tom Higgins, you've got to believe you've been snake bitten. Drew wide left now. Little inside handoff to DeVito. DeVito gets inside the 10. Picks up 7.
Nice hole on the left side. Bears are certainly getting the blocking.
Bring up a 3rd and about 3 for East Brunswick. Ball spotted at the Piscataway 8. Clock running, we're down to 9:20 here, 2nd period. East Brunswick on top, 7-0. Forte again, the short drop, looks, that fadeaway pass for Drew, too far this time.
And let's see, we're going to have a field goal attempt by Dan Levine. Has been perfect thus far this season.
I'll tell you, it's interesting they're respecting Kearney's coverage of Trent. At no time did they go towards Trent, so that's saying they're having a whole lot of respect for the defensive play of Kearney.
All right, Levine on for the field goal. Greenberg will do the holding. 29-yard attempt. 24-yard, let's call it.
Ooh.
And that ball, I don't know if it was tipped or it was a bad snap or placement.
Well, the way the Piscataway player is raising his fist, it looks like he feels that he got a hand on the ball.
I don't think it got set down properly. That is the first miss of any kind for Dan Levine this year.
Well, Piscataway is able to dodge another bullet. And East Brunswick could have really put them away by now. But they're allowing Piscataway back into this game. It's only 7-0, and Piscataway will have the ball. And with a guy like Kearney, you're in this ball game.
That's right.
And they'll send Kearney to the left, and a timeout will be taken by East Brunswick.
They don't have enough men on the field, apparently. And here comes
Yeah, you got it.
a late player.
So each team taking a timeout this first half.
Forte really electing to go with timing patterns, and as you mentioned, Phil, Ramon Trent has been covered well, and he is 0 for 7 passing this half. East Brunswick's offense coming on 27 yards by Dave Goldstein, including the 1-yard plunge for a touchdown in the first quarter, gave them the 7-0 lead that they have now. DeVito has had 3 carries for 14 yards, and of course Forte ran for that 25-yard scamper that put them in the position for the first score.
Yeah.
So it's been all on the ground for East Brunswick, and you have to wonder if Piscataway can mount a drive without a turnover, if they can turn it around here. Certainly don't look like a club that has been beaten by Sayreville 23-zip. Madison really handed it to them last week.
Mm-hmm. Well, you look at that club and the word potential comes up, like they could explode at any time.
By the way, I saw Sayreville Friday night. They looked like a real quality club now. They shut out Woodbridge 17-0. That's going to be a future Woodbridge opponent. Excuse me, Woodbridge is going to be a future opponent for East Brunswick. We'll get it straight.
All right, 1st and 10 for the Chiefs. The ball on their own 20. Thompson right up the middle. Thompson picks up 5 yards. And he just pushed that line back.
That's one of the few times that East Brunswick's line has bulged, I think.
I'm looking at Thompson. He doesn't look 140 pounds. I don't care. He looks a lot bigger than 140 pounds.
2nd and 5 for the Chiefs. They have an official timeout. We have 8:39 to go here in the 2nd period. East Brunswick on top, 7-0.
Yeah, that's got to be a misprint. No doubt about it.
You know, actually, when speaking to Coach Higgins, he said he has a good fullback by the name of Ashford, number 32. So apparently this kid is Ashford, not Thompson, as listed in the book.
Yeah.
Well, who's Thompson? We're giving him a lot of play. I'm calling him Thompson. Here's that option. Payne keeps it.
All right.
Picks
Mike,
up maybe a yard.
Yeah, Mike Hack was there that time.
Well, Piscataway forced into another third down, and they've had trouble on third downs. They've had 3 turnovers, 2 fumbles, and a pass interception, and yet they only trail 7-0. Third and about 4.
Important play here for East Brunswick. They
Ball on the Piscataway 26. Payne is going to put it in the air. Looks to the sideline. He's got Kearney. Kearney taken down by Trent, but it'll be first down, and he was wide open.
Ramon Trent giving him respect.
Also giving him a lot of room. So Piscataway keeps the drive alive, and this is much like it's been all day for them. And then a turnover comes up to bite them. .7:32 to go in the period. Ball now on the Piscataway 37. First and 10. Weaver in motion. Payne keeps it. I don't know if that was a broken play or not, Phil, but.
Well, I'll tell you what, he saw Mark Rulo coming in right on and made a quick reaction play and turned it right up the middle for a couple of yards.
Bring up 2nd and 8. Very quiet, lethargic crowd. Clock running. Second down now on the Piscataway 39. Payne drops back. Pressured, looking for Kearney, I believe. Yes, thrown low though.
No flag. Ramon Trent right on Kearney there. A very good aggressive play.
So a third down for the Chiefs. I think if Payne throws it to anyone else but Kearney, you're going to have a story. Hamlet is the other receiver who comes in and out, number 81, but they put Weaver now wide right, Kearney to the left. Payne being pressured, a little screen is set up for Cook, and just thrown too high for him.
And you could see the way the play was developing. That's what Piscataway had in mind, but East Brunswick was well prepared.
Well prepared. Constantino right there in the middle of that screen play.
Piscataway will be forced to punt it away.
This the first time they've kicked?
I believe so. First punt. This will be Cook, number 20, doing the punting. Back will be Castanelli and Trent. Low kick. Trent will pick it up. And a good return back to the East Brunswick 45.
Very nice return. Picked that ball up on a bounce rather than allowing it to bound its way down. And Trent's alertness was able to get East Brunswick probably a 20-yard turnaround there. Looking at Troy Wright, his right ankle and foot is in a, looks like an air cast. Probably have some x-rays.
East Brunswick with good field position once again. First and 10 on their own 49. I'm sorry, 46.
Okay, I think you can look for a play action pass here. You got to believe the Bears want to get something going right away.
Through the air anyway.
Trent Drew wide left. Forte will put it up in the air, slips a little bit. And he's got Drew across the middle. First down, East Brunswick, close to the 40-yard line.
First pass completion for Brian Forte today.
Should I make my usual game call for the tight end?
We're wondering why you didn't mention anything by the first quarter, John.
The nose of the ball just on the Piscataway 40. Timeout.
No,
official
referee
timeout.
Yeah. All right, they're signaling to Clark to come back. He had run off the field. I think the official's explaining to him that you can. Yeah, if it has something to do with equipment, you don't have to call timeout.
He doesn't have a mouthpiece. He's got to have one in to play.
I tell you, it's nice of the official to give him the warning. Actually,
Really?
you can be penalized.
So East Brunswick will have it 1st and 10 on the Piscataway 40. They're looking to add to their 7-0 lead. A surprising 7-0 lead at this point. 6:20 to go before halftime. Feldman now out wide left with Giroux. Bryan rolls right. Is going to loop it down for Charleston. That ball should be picked off. It is by Cook. Trying to get to the outside.
Ooh.
And Feldman takes him down from behind. But East Brunswick gives it up.
Well, that ball was headed for Brett Charleston, at least in that direction, but it doesn't look like Bryan had that strung out the way he wanted it to.
He sure didn't. And give Feldman credit for a nice tackle there.
So the Bears go back on defense. Piscataway still with poor field position.
Yeah. By the way, that is the 6th time this year that Forte has thrown an interception.
1st and 10 for the Chiefs. The ball at their own 22. Carney wide right. Payne's going to put it up once again. Looking over the middle for Hamlet.
Ooh.
In and out of his hands.
Oh,
and a flag is going to be called.
Well, I have to beg difference on that one. That was a case where East Brunswick arrived at just the right time. And official threw the flag anyway.
I think they're going to call it for a hit around the head. I can't believe interference is the call.
Didn't know that was illegal, John.
Oh, they're going to call it interference. Whoa.
And Marcus Borden is
he's
extremely hot. He's on the field and subject to getting the flag himself if the officials see him.
All right, East Brunswick will just have to chalk this one off as a poor call.
I tell you, Marcus is hot, and I can't blame him. It looked like both the defenders were right there at the time that the ball got there.
Well, from our position, it was very apparent that was the case.
Gives Piscataway a 1st and 10 at their own 32-yard line.
Once again, Piscataway throwing on 1st down.
5:40 to go before halftime. Carney wide right.
Whoops.
And that's movement.
I'm surprised the official didn't throw the flag to begin with.
Well, this official doesn't have a flag.
Give him a handkerchief.
He
Give him
doesn't have
something.
one in his pocket. That's why he didn't throw it.
Oh, gosh.
Give him a paper towel. But let's go here. He didn't even blink an eye when that man moved.
No, East Brunswick defender had to say, hey, he moved.
Borden was still livid and yelling and screaming on the side.
And rightly so. This is only a 7-0 game.
Really. All right. Now we see the flag.
Well, it got the crowd excited anyway. See what's going to happen here.
Well, they haven't marked the ball off yet.
I don't think they're going to call it. They're not.
Oh, this is
It's a different.
that's a strange call there now. I guess apparently they're calling flag on both sides.
Look, Borden is putting his hand in front of the ref's eye. He better watch out. There's going to be a flag right here. I think he was referring to his eyesight, his vision. Anyway, we'll pick it up. It's still 1st and 10 after all the excitement. Now they move Carney to the left side. Payne is looking for him on a little slant in. He's got him.
Ooh.
Carney will pick up 8 yards.
Boy, I'm telling you, Piscataway, each time they have a 1st down, likes to put it in the air.
And let me say, Payne is paying the price every time he throws that
Every time
ball.
he throws it, but he's getting the ball there. Both Harmon and Trent in on that tackle there. But as you say, Carney picked up a good 8 yards, 7 yards.
2nd down, we'll say it's a long 2. Ball on the Piscataway 46. They have yet to get in East Brunswick territory. 5:05 to go before halftime. Piscataway trailing 7-0. Pitch to Cook. Cook trying to get outside.
He won't.
He's having a little trouble. Turns the
Take it
corner.
back. Look at this.
He's still on his feet.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, he cut it in.
Cut it back where Trent finally made the tackle.
Well, I'll eat my words on that one. He clearly looked like he was hemmed in on the far side.
Just a superb effort by number 20, A.J. Cook.
Truth be told, if he had stayed to the outside, running to this side over here, he might have won that foot race with Trent.
Injured player for East Brunswick. Officials timeout.
Looks like Scott Bernatti.
Yeah. 4:44 to go before half. Piscataway now into East Brunswick territory. They trail 7-0. Ball spotted at the East Brunswick 23.
And I think that's what we've been talking about, John. You can't keep a team like this Piscataway team in the game because sooner or later they're going to break something. And they've had a slow season, but again, speaking of Higgins, he felt supremely confident. He felt that his team was going to do a lot better, and they're about to arrive at this time. So you got to get more out in front. You just cannot leave them in the game that much. Otherwise, a play like that can make a big difference.
East Brunswick coming up with 3 turnovers, but only able to capitalize really on 1.
And Piscataway playing with more and more confidence, no doubt about it.
And quite honestly, they have nothing to lose. They can play their game. Timeout now, Piscataway. That's their second.
Well, I ask you a question here, Jimmy. Do you double team Kearney at this point? I mean, he's pretty much had things his way. I mean, do you double team up on him rather than the man-to-man?
Well, I'll tell you, it's a tough question to answer, Phil, but the way I've been looking at it, East Brunswick will play the half the way they had their game plan. And then they will make adjustments at halftime. I don't think there's really anything that the coaching staff is going to do specifically to handle him. But we'll look at it at halftime, see how East Brunswick presents itself as they come out for the second half, and then there may be some changes.
Well, a new wrinkle has just been added. Now they know Mr. Cook is around. And you got to keep your eye on him now with that kind of speed.
That's for sure.
I have to say that the offensive line for Piscataway has been doing a rather excellent job. They really haven't gotten to the quarterback except for that one time when there was a tip throw that caused the interception. And I think East Brunswick will probably make some adjustments in that area too to apply an even more intense pass rush. They're getting through, but they're just not getting there before the quarterback gets rid of the ball.
All right, let's set the scene for you. It's 1st and 10 for the Chiefs. The ball on the East Brunswick 23, 4:44 to go here before halftime. Piscataway trailing East Brunswick 7-0, but they're in East Brunswick territory. Carney to the right, Weaver to the left, and this is Thompson right up the middle.
And a touchdown saving tackle by Mark Harmon. Otherwise, Thompson is gone.
Good call. Good call by Piscataway.
First down for the Chiefs. The ball spotted at the East Brunswick 11. Split the receivers wide and just let Thompson go right up the middle. Phil, do they have a kicking game of any consequence?
It didn't appear from the watching them practice. Nothing spectacular.
Okay. Motley now, number 22 wide left. Carney to the right. That's Thompson again. Fumbles it and recovered by Cook.
You know, Sean Smith still doesn't know where the ball is.
Piscataway with a lucky roll there.
And it's behind him. 75, Sean Smith didn't even know the ball was right on top of him.
And I think Tom Higgins would have jumped his car and went home after that one.
Well, I'll tell you, I'll call this play right here. This is going to be a slant into Kearney. Why not? A quick look in, and you got to believe that's what they're going to try.
By the way, Jenkins was the one that caused that fumble.
A loss of a yard on the play rather. It's 2nd and 11. Ball on the East Brunswick 12. Motley in motion. Here's the pitch to Cook.
Ooh, he's got room.
Can he get around that corner? He does, out of bounds, short of the goal.
It looks like
May have the first down, though.
Yep.
Let's see where they spot it.
Well, Piscataway taking advantage of every ounce of team speed that they have.
Short of the first.
Okay.
So it'll bring up third and about 3 for the first down and about 4 for a touchdown. 3:18 left on the clock. Weaver now out to the left. Casanelli has him, single coverage. Carney to the right. This is Cook. Cook fights his way. Is he in? They're going to mark him short of the goal.
Wow.
But he's got a first down.
Yeah, first down. So if Piscataway can hang on to the ball, we question that.
And Higgins is mad. Higgins is saying it's a touchdown.
Well,
what are you doing?
I don't know where he can come off having a better angle than we do.
Nose of the football just shy of the goal line for Piscataway. They're looking to tie this game up. They trail 7-0. Inside of 3 minutes now left, second period. I formation, Carney to the left. Payne just keeps it, tries to sneak forward.
And he's lost yardage.
Very nice play by the East Brunswick line. And also credit Mark Rulo, number 40, being in there.
Payne goes nowhere. Call it second and a half a foot. They've got 3 more shots at it.
Time-consuming drive, over 4 minutes, coming off the interception that Forte threw down around the 25.
Okay, number 32, we're going to call him Ashford because I just don't believe it's Thompson. And let's see what happens.
We'll clarify that.
And it's Ashford Thompson in for the score.
Ashford Thompson.
Ashford Thompson, okay. We promised to find out at halftime.
Ashford/Thompson.
The young man scores for Piscataway. They're now trailing by a point with 2:01. We'll see if they go for 2.
Yeah, wondering, that'll tell whether they have a kicking game. And it does look like they're going to go for a 2-point conversion here.
Piscataway will go for 2. They put Carney to the right.
Think he'll be involved, Phil?
Weaver wide left. They're looking for him on that slant. He's got it, 2 points.
Boy, he was
Nice pass by Payne.
open.
And so East Brunswick now trails 8-7.
A slant into Kearney, and you knew that was coming sooner or later.
Yeah, you called that before. That was the perfect play. East Brunswick did not seem like it was ready for that either. Two minutes left, Phil. I guess East Brunswick still has a lot of time to not have to go into a. I think they have 2 timeouts left. They took 1, so it's not as if they have to go into a classic 2-minute
Well, they have
offense.
plenty of time to do what they have to do. I don't know. I've been watching. I don't know if they're giving Kearney too much respect defensively. I have to believe that Ramon Trent certainly can get open one-on-one.
Well, even if he can't, East Brunswick has a heck of a lot of other receivers that they can go to,
That's true.
including Mr. Meggiolaro's tight end play.
That's why I'm up here and not down there. All right, ready to kick things off. This is Piscataway. East Brunswick will have 2 minutes to try to get on the board before halftime. Try to take the lead once again. This will be Trent at about the 11. Right up the middle.
He's got room. He's got room.
Gets the outside.
Let's see him use his speed now.
Here he goes, Ramon Trent. Kiss it goodbye. He's gone.
Okay. That was quick enough, wasn't it? Took 13 seconds.
Wow.
89 yards, Ramon Trent.
First time he's broke it this year. And the thing to wake up East Brunswick at this point.
And that's my point. I don't think nobody's going to keep up with him one-on-one.
Talk about bringing life back to the crowd.
Yeah.
Wow.
Trent going 89 yards with the kickoff. And Levine looking to add the 14th point.
Yeah, he does.
And the Bears are back on top, 14-8.
I'll tell you, John, you're talking about the crowd a little bit earlier, and I'd like to say one thing. We had the opportunity last week to sit with the crowd at the Perth Amboy game, and we got a feel to see how some of the parents react. And Ramon's mother, Mrs. Mary Lee, she cheers whether Ramon's in the game or not. She's constantly cheering and yelling, so she's really got something to cheer about right now.
We also got a lot of advice as to how to call the game.
Well, I don't think anybody can take away from the fact that these parents especially are very, very concerned and follow these players. And I have a lot of respect in the world for them. There's a lot of dedication and sacrifice that they make also.
The thing that was bothering Phil and I, Jim, was that all the parents were calling both Phil and me Jimmy.
That's why I said that, John.
We were a little
See if
disturbed
we
by
can get
that.
him off my back.
So Levine will kick it off. And if you blinked, you missed it because Ramon Trent took the kickoff and just sped by everyone.
That quick.
And we're going to get an opportunity to see the Payne to Kearney show here because it's going to be a quick offense for Piscataway.
Levine with the kick. This will be Cook
Excellent kick.
at a 6-yard line.
Whoops.
Good block by a Piscataway player, and Cook taken down just short of the 25.
Great kick by Levine. It didn't get into the end zone like we've been accustomed to seeing, but had a lot of height, allowing the East Brunswick players to get down and make good coverage on the ball.
And I tell you, Glenn Leonard for East Brunswick will remember that play. He was coming in to make the tackle, and a ferocious block was thrown on him.
1:37 to go, clock running for Piscataway. They only have one timeout left. They trail 14-8. Ball spotted on their own 24. Kearney comes out to the left with Motley.
Taking their time.
They're doubling Kearney.
Farrell,
Payne looking for Motley. Underthrows him.
Trent in a deep quarterback safety position, if you will. Try to react to get to that ball. He saw that he had an opportunity, but just couldn't get there.
And Dave Goldstein covering underneath.
It looked that time East Brunswick was playing a zone, and they rolled the zone to Kearney's side. Payne had the time, just couldn't get the ball there. That'll stop the clock with 1:12 to go. 2nd and 10 for the Chiefs. They trail 14-8.
And there's Brian Forte back there, John.
Forte and Trent now playing deep center field. Payne looking to put it up, dumps it off.
And East Brunswick might want to call timeout.
Cook, number 20 on the reception, only picks up maybe 2 yards.
Let's see how long we're going to let the clock run before they're. Yeah, he's trying to decide whether or not to call timeout. Now the signal goes out.
Timeout East Brunswick with 52 seconds left. It'll be 3rd and, let's say, a long 9 for Piscataway.
So if East Brunswick is successful in holding Piscataway, they're going to get the ball back probably in good field position and see if they can put more points on the board.
Well, and Jimmy, as you look at that defense by East Brunswick, it's not so surprising to see Brian Forte back there on defense. You've known some good quarterbacks to play defense.
I can think of a few from a school that you went to.
Like?
Oh, well, I think we have to give credit to Mr. Thiesman, is playing defensive back. Drew Pearson, superb defensive back. Kenny Jackson. I still maintain that Kenny Jackson could have made it in the National Football League as a defensive back.
As a safety.
As a safety,
You're right.
yes.
He was superb as a safety.
Well, they're just great athletes, and you utilize their ability, and that's what East Brunswick is doing right now.
If you're Tom Higgins, do you put it up here or you just play something safe and punt it away?
I think they're going to go for it. I really do. I don't think they want to play safe because with Brian Forte on the other side and Ramon Trent, who we saw as team speed, they're going to go. East Brunswick can strike anywhere at any time.
I think, too, on offense for Piscataway, you play defense almost. And what you want to do, if nothing else, is get the first down, let the half go, come back out fresh. We'll see. It's 3rd and 9 for Piscataway. The ball just across their own 25.
And we can keep our eyes on number 82.
He'll have 4 guys on him. Payne drops the ball, picks it up.
Whoop, ball
Drops it again. Picks it up.
East
And picks up 2 yards.
He's playing basketball with that ball.
Timeout, East Brunswick.
Yeah, they used their last timeout here. And at the very least, if they can get the ball in position for Dan Levine to launch one.
Now a question, do you go for the block? You have 44 seconds.
We're both silent here.
I tell you, I'd first of all, you saw the punter. The punter isn't terrific and whatnot. You got Ramon Trent back there again, and he's obviously feeling his oats. Let him kick the ball away. Why risk the chance of a penalty right here and letting them keep possession of it?
Well, Borden going out on the field, we'll see. East Brunswick using their last timeout.
And as you watch Marcus Borden there, you got to give your hats off to Marcus. Marcus has had an extremely long week. He's been present just about everywhere he can be, being supportive to his team. And you got to give him credit. It's been a terribly long week. If you saw his face before the game, you can really tell.
Yeah, you don't know sometimes the things that head coaches go through. And I say that for the entire coaching staff for East Brunswick. They are certainly a dedicated crew.
All right, Cook will do the punting. Standing at his own 15.
Every East Brunswick lineman is in a stand-up position here.
Cook, short punt. Casanelli, fair catch at his own 45.
Oh,
Can't go anywhere, young man. Little confusion, but East Brunswick will have the ball in great field position at their own 45 with 36 seconds to go. They're on top 14-8.
Boy, I just believe with a lot of people concentrating on Ramon Trent here that this is going to leave some people open. I think Giroux is probably going to be open. Joey DeVito we see we know that has been open a number of times through the middle. He's another possibility.
All right, Trent is to the right. Drew's not sure where he's going. He'll move over to the left. Potter split left now. Forte looking for Trent all the way, and he took his eye off the ball.
That's exactly what he did. And Kearney giving Trent an awful lot of respect, an awful lot of room on that side. That may be a setup play there. That may be a setup for a down, out, and up. You know, Trent came out and turned out, but they may have called 2 plays, and he may be ready to go down, out, and up on this one. Let's see.
I hope they call 2 because Trent never made it back to the huddle. Forte, deep drop.
Whoops.
Whoa, gets away, but
Ooh.
now is tackled, and he's leveled.
And East Brunswick is going to have to try to, whoops.
Timeout, Forte is down. He was
down.
blindsided.
He is really down.
Got away from one tackler and off his blind side, and Piscataway, man, just leveled him.
And quite frankly now, let's see if Brian Forte cannot continue here. Who's going to be the quarterback?
We may see another Forte.
It's number 11, I'm sure. It's going to be Jimmy White. He was a young man taking snaps in the pregame workout.
And let's just hope that that was just a case where Brian got his head wrung and nothing more than that.
I tell you, as you look at Brian Forte lying down there, we've been talking much about him putting pressure on himself. Last Sunday's New York Times had an article on Brian, and they talked about all the other distractions that we don't see, the pressure from the various college coaches and whatnot that are trying to recruit him. Of course, a lot of young men wish they had that type of pressure, but it does get to be a bit much, and he's had to balance that and try to live up to the expectations of this year as well. And I don't care what anyone says, it's an awful lot of pressure to put on a young 18-year-old.
That's a good point, Phil. And there's a lot of peer pressure. You know, you get those kind of headlines, you get that kind of publicity, and people really start to believe you can walk on water. And then you leave yourself open, not intentionally, but a lot of criticism is leveled your way if the team doesn't win or if you had a poor outing. And right now, we just want to be sure that he's okay. Took a vicious hit. And Jimmy White, number 11, will go out and replace Forte. And you see John Emery, well, you don't see him on your camera, but John Emery talking to young Mr. White. And the team needs to rally around this young man right now.
All right, Brian sitting up now.
I'll tell you, he seems to be somewhat groggy, and I think he really just took a shot to the head. Doesn't appear to be a leg or an arm or anything like that. He's just downright groggy. And I tell you, we're talking about pressure on young men. I've been doing a lot of watching, not just Brian Forte, but some of the other players and their parents as well. First of all, John, if you have some ability, coaches know it already. I mean, sometimes we get too hung up in statistics and whatnot. If you can catch the ball, some coach knows it already. If you have the ability to play college ball, some coach knows it already. And a lot of times parents get overworked up about what's going to happen with their son in the future.
And the officials allowing however much time that East Brunswick needs, rightly so.
Brian's up. He'll go off with Phil Hostler.
And he's taking his time. And knowing the recuperative powers of 16 or 18-year-olds, he looks to be like he's going to be all right.
Piscataway calls now their last timeout.
That's an interesting call.
Now, I'll tell you, talk about nervous. I'm sure Jimmy White never expected to be stepping in on this situation. I don't care how much you prepare for it.
Well, you're right. I mean, let's tell it like it is. Jimmy White probably did not expect to be playing. Troy White, of course, injured himself, and he's on the sidelines. And
This is fourth string, quite frankly.
Exactly.
All right, just to bring things back into perspective, we have 17 seconds to go here in the second period. East Brunswick on top 14-8. Brian Forte now sitting on the bench after being hit on an attempted pass play. And East Brunswick will have it. It's 3rd and 10. Actually, it's about 3rd and 14, actually, after Brian being sacked.
Watching number 2, Pete Forte, Brian's younger brother, taking snaps because he would be next.
The ball is on the East Brunswick 41-yard line.
And you got to believe it's going to be a handoff.
Jimmy White, number 11, in at quarterback. Good snap. Handoff to Goldstein.
Woo!
Goldstein up the middle. First down into Piscataway territory. Clock running. They'll stop it for the first down.
No timeouts.
Well, if they can.
As soon as those yard markers are set, they'll start the clock. East Brunswick should be ready.
Well, East Brunswick's not in a position to have a play called, so it looks like this is going to be it.
5 seconds. That'll be it. They'll let it run out. So the first half ends 14-8. East Brunswick on top.
Yeah, okay. I'm watching the action on the field with one eye, and the other eye I'm looking at Forte. He seems to be okay. He's walking, and he's going to get a free ride on the cart, as will the second-string quarterback, Troy White. And, boy, you breathe a sigh of relief here.
Okay, any comments before we break for halftime? Phil?
Well, Piscataway is in the game without a doubt. The Bears seem to be coming around himself. Well, all you can do is hope that Brian Forte is okay because he's such a big part of the Bear offense. But we have a good game here.
Good game. East Brunswick on top at half, 14-8. And we ask that you stay tuned for the East Brunswick High School Marching Band. All right, welcome to the second half of this East Brunswick-Piscataway game. East Brunswick on top 14-8. Jim, I know you have some statistics from Bill Munyon.
Yeah, and a classic case of the statistics not really telling the story, because East Brunswick up by a 14-8 score, yet Piscataway having the advantage in the statistical department. They're about even in rushing yardage. Piscataway having 78, East Brunswick 81. But our quarterback, Alan Payne for Piscataway, was 8 for 13 for 89 yards. In contrast, Brian Forte, just one completion in 10 attempts for 14 yards that go into Joe Giroux. Each had a pass intercepted. Let's see, as far as yards penalized, 30 for East Brunswick and 1.5 we were 1.5 yards. That was that mark off on a face mask for Piscataway. A 15-yard penalty was a very difficult one for East Brunswick there on that pass interference, and that kept the drive alive for Piscataway, and they were able to get a score. Individually, Dave Goldstein had 8 attempts for 46 yards. Forte, we recall, had that one long gainer of 25 yards. He was also sacked once for 4 yards. DeVito had 3 rushes for 14 yards, so East Brunswick 81 yards on the ground, 13 carries. And that about does it. One other note, Forte had 2 punts for 43 yards, the longest being that 60-yarder.
Well, you see Brian out there at the center of the field, so apparently he's okay. We don't know if he will be back in the game, but I'm sure he will. Well, we'll see when East Brunswick goes on offense.
Yeah, if he wasn't going to play, I don't think he'd be out there in the midpoint of the field. He probably has a rather pounding headache right now after that hit.
And I do want to mention that unofficially, Vermont Trent tied a school record for the longest kickoff return, 89 yards. That's set by Andy Wernberg in 1985 in a playoff game against J.P. Stevens.
I remember that.
We were there.
Mm-hmm. So, Phil, now you were asking that question about whether East Brunswick will make any adjustments with respect to the passing situation there with 82, Jay Carney. I think that they will do something to try to shut down that passing game. Piscataway had a lot of success with the quarterback Payne to Carney, and probably going to do something this half. They are probably doing about the best they can as far as a pass rush. They're just getting there a split second. And I have to attribute that to Alan Payne's speed. He's elusive as any quarterback that we've seen this year.
Right.
And we'll just see what has to happen with East Brunswick.
All right, East Brunswick will kick off to start the second half. Dan Levine out there with the kicking team. East Brunswick will be moving from right to left now. Piscataway will be looking into the sun.
And East Brunswick can count its blessings about being able to take advantage of some of the turnovers that Piscataway provided them. Also, those 2 fumble recoveries and 1 pass interception.
All right, Cook is back deep for Piscataway along with Grant, number 11. And they have Carney back there as well, number 82. And why not? And here we go, Dan Levine to kick it off to start this third period. Rather low kick, that'll bounce. Cook will field it at the 5. And it's taken down across the 20. He's still fighting his way around the 25.
A little extracurricular activity.
Looks like Zimmerman was the first one in on that for East Brunswick. And I understand we have clarified the mystery about that running back for Piscataway.
Number 32.
Good point. His name is Terry Ashford. So, Eldridge Thompson, your day will come. Piscataway will take over the ball on their own 26, 1st and 10, trailing 14-8 to start the third period.
And Piscataway having a penchant for wanting to throw on first down. Let's see if that continues, and let's see how East Brunswick reacts.
They have made adjustments on Kearney already.
And he's out wide right. This is Motley in motion. Little quick screen out to Carney through his hands. Incomplete.
And they have made an adjustment. They put Greg Rulo out there to bump him off the line of scrimmage, and Ramon Trent is playing him normal.
Let's see what
they have doubled up on Kearney.
Let's see if Piscataway tries to react differently there. I'm sure their spotters took a look at that.
Well, I think the man motion is one way of breaking up that double coverage. Piscataway will have Weaver now and Carney wide right. They go with that I formation again. Payne will put it up.
Joe Hankins.
Joe Hankins wrestles him right down at the 15-yard line.
Almost takes his head off, John.
And I tell you, we didn't do the game last week in Perth Amboy, but he made 3 tackles almost exactly like that, blowing in and jumping up in the air and sacking the guy.
Well, if East Brunswick's line was a little bit late in the first half, they're coming in now. And again, this is what we've seen all season long. East Brunswick makes the adjustments at the halftime.
Bring up 3rd and 20 now for Piscataway. Ball resting at their own 17, and they have yet to have good field position this game. They have been in the hole every time they've touched the ball. Weaver now wide right, Carney to the left. Payne will drop, sets, throwing deep for Carney, and he just overthrows him.
And we saw Rulo try to slow down Carney, and of course Trent was back there, and that was the right defense for that play.
Well, you got to give the Bears credit. They come out in the third quarter making some adjustments and playing good defensively.
So East Brunswick should get the ball in excellent field position.
Cook will do the punting for Piscataway. Castanelli and Trent back deep.
Boy, they're awful deep.
They are. I was just going to say they're awfully deep. This young man hasn't gotten a good kick yet. Castanelli comes up, will field it off his chest, falls on it and recovers it. But the ball is in Piscataway territory at the Piscataway 45. So again, the Bears start off with good field position, and we'll see if Brian Forte comes out, and he does, number 16.
Pat Castanelli, not the normal deep back on the punt returns. That usually goes with Troy White, and of course White was not playing. Out with an injury in the first quarter, injured his ankle.
Ball on the Piscataway 44, 1st and 10. Trent Giroux wide right. A little draw to DeVito.
Fooled no one.
Got the ball and got hit, and there'll be a loss on the play of 3 yards.
Derek Coppin, number 76. The kid's only 5'10", 265 pounds. In on the tackle there.
Only. They're big inside, I'll tell you what.
2nd and 13 now for the Bears.
77, Tim Schultz, 280 pounds.
Giroux and Trent split. Forte, short drop. Outside to Giroux, he's got it. Makes a nice move, and it's knocked out of bounds close to the Piscataway 30. 1st down, East Brunswick.
Yeah, nice 15-yard gain there.
Joe Giroux showing good, quick feet that time. About to be tackled and gave a little shimmy and picked up extra yardage.
Yeah, and East Brunswick on the march, John.
1st down on Piscataway 31. The ball is marked. I formation. DeVito and Goldstein. Potter split wide left. Trent Giroux to the right. Quick pitch to Goldstein, right side, cuts it up. And drops right at the 30. Picks up a yard.
Well, that time Piscataway had it well strung out. Goldstein, if he had any ideas of cutting to the outside, was denied and tried to cut it in, and Piscataway played it well.
Right, one of the captains, Carlton Phillips, number 45, coming in to make that tackle for Piscataway.
2nd and 9 for the Bears. 3rd period action. East Brunswick on top, 14-8. This is Goldstein right up the middle, nice hole. Still on his feet. Goldstein's gonna score. Yes, Dave Goldstein, 2nd touchdown today.
Boy, let's put that on the highlight film.
30
really
yards.
Was a nice job. Tremendous. He broke at least 3 tackles. Admittedly, they were arm grasped by Piscataway. You think you can bring this little guy down, but I'll tell you what, he just squirmed his way through. Has a lot of power. And just one of the nicest touchdown runs we've seen this year.
Well, we've seen it for 3 games straight now. And he's shown great consistency, has great balance, and just skitters free.
Goldstein, 30-yard run. Levine now looking for the 21st point. And he's got it. And the Bears are on top, 21-8.
Dave Goldstein's 2nd touchdown today, 8 on the season. I believe that puts him in number one in scoring for East Brunswick, certainly. Danny Levine keeping pace with his extra points and field goals.
And while we have a little time, let me give you a scoring rundown. In the first period, Dave Goldstein went over the line from 1 yard out to put East Brunswick on top 7-0. Came back, Piscataway that is, came back in the second period. Ashford going from 1 yard and a 2-point conversion put Piscataway on top 8-7. And then in that same second period, Ramon Trent went 89 yards with a kickoff, the ensuing kickoff. East Brunswick on top 14-8. That's where we were up until this moment. Dave Goldstein going 30 yards up the middle, putting East Brunswick on top now 21-8. And Dan Levine is about ready to kick it off.
You know, every one of those plays probably was the result of something that was talked about at halftime in the locker room. East Brunswick found a little light, a little daylight in the middle, and Goldstein was able to do very, very nicely on that.
Levine, low kick, squibbles around. Cook picks it up at the 11, reverses it to Grant.
Ooh.
Grant squirming across the 25, about to the 27.
Dave Goldstein comes off the field, well-deserved rest there.
8:32 to go in the third period. And Piscataway trailing 21-8 will have the ball on their own 26, 1st and 10. Carney comes to the right. Motley wide left. And this is Cook.
Ooh.
Cook across the 30.
And a great open field tackle by Sean Smith.
Yep. Looked like it was going to go for a lot more.
Cook picks up 4, call it 2nd and 6 for the Chiefs. And East Brunswick comes out like they did last week against Perth Amboy. First drive of the second half to put it on the board. Let's see if Piscataway can answer. Carney wide to the left. He's the man for Piscataway. Weaver in motion. Carney has it, pitches it to Weaver. Weaver gets to the outside, has the first down. So they'll move the chains.
Boy, that was a nice hit by Ramon Trent. Phil, Ramon doesn't really have a heck of a lot of experience in the secondary, but he, just by his speed alone, shows me that he has the potential to be a really quality safety.
Well, he has no experience in the defensive backfield. This is his first year playing defensively, and he's done well, considering that he doesn't have that Pop Warner or freshman training that comes along with learning how to play that position.
Weaver again comes in motion. This is Ashford. Ashford fights his way maybe for a yard.
Well, just to amplify on Ramon Trent as a defensive back, one of the things you look for in somebody in the secondary is their willingness to hit. And Ramon has never been bashful about that.
Ball resting at the Piscataway 40. 2nd and, let's say, 8. Clock running. Third period action from J. Doyle Field. East Brunswick, Piscataway. Cook.
Ooh.
Cook squirms his way across the 45.
Yeah, Matt Bazinko, number 50, had an opportunity to make the tackle a few yards back, but Cook was able to squirm his way for a few more.
Bring up 3rd down for the Chiefs. 3 to go for the first. Timeout, an official timeout. And they're ready to go. Piscataway trying to answer East Brunswick's drive of this period. Big 3rd down play for them. Motley in motion. Pitch to Cook. Cook looking for that first down. I don't know if he's got it yet. We'll see. Yes, first down, Piscataway. So the drive continues.
Piscataway showing a little ball control. They have, since the Bears have made the adjustment to double team Kearney, they've taken the ball to the ground, and they're moving slowly but surely.
And that's the reaction of a veteran coach, and Tom Higgins. He's been there for a number of years.
5:30 to go, third period. Ball on the East Brunswick 49. 1st and 10, Piscataway. Payne sets, flag thrown. Casanelli going for the interception. Pass incomplete, we'll see what the flag is.
Clark was the one that administered the most pressure on that rush there and might have been able to disrupt Payne just a little bit.
It appears to be against Piscataway. Let's
talking to East Brunswick player, holding against the Chiefs, and they'll move Piscataway back. Bring up 2nd and 20 now for the Chiefs. Ball moved back to the Piscataway 36-yard line. Payne looking, that slant pattern to Carney, and he dropped it right in his hands.
a bad spot, right in the hands.
He was there.
He had some running room. Drop the ball, bring up his 2nd down.
And Forte comes in, defensive back, along with Polito, 42. East Brunswick in its so-called nickel defense, pass prevent.
Goldstein running onto the field, a little confusion here. Payne, that slant in again for Carney. They could call a flag on Pilato, but they won't.
Pilato seemed to get his feet tangled up conveniently in the receiver.
It was for Weaver, number 23. I'm not used to Payne throwing to anyone but Carney. Just a question I'll throw out. Why would you put Brian Forte in there, particularly after the hit he took?
I was asking myself the same thing.
And a lead and a score 21-8.
Well, of course, it's a natural part of the defense in given situations, and he's an excellent athlete, and he's probably recovered from the shot to the head.
But, you know, I mean, it looked like he was hurt when he was on the field, but quite frankly, we don't know to the extent of his injury.
I think he was a little groggy, but I think he's okay. He's recovered, and
I am sure that if there was any seriousness to his injury, even if there was a slight notion that he would not be out there. As a matter of fact, he wouldn't be playing quarterback.
Well, I think there's another side to it, too, and I'll get to it in a moment. Third down, and I think we're going to have a delay of game, or someone moved.
I like to hear that other side.
Well, I just think,
Keep it going.
Based on what happened previously, I question that. But also, it's an opportunity to play someone and give them some experience in that position. Forte is a senior, get a junior in there, or another individual that you may need him at some point during the rest of the season, someone to have that kind of game experience.
You could, but you better believe Marcus Borden has him in there as a safety mechanism just because of his great athletic ability. At this point in time of the season, they don't want to lose another game and take a chance on anything. They know the ball's probably going to be put in the air, and they want one of the better athletes there. They don't have Troy White around, so they got to go with Bryant.
Third down.
Big play for East Brunswick here.
Payne dropping. He's going to throw it deep, looking for Weaver. Intercepted by Forte.
Guess who? And he's got a
Forte,
lane.
he's got the whole sideline.
He turns it in. And he's
Forte's going to go. 70 yards on the return.
And that's why he's there, John.
John, sorry for doing play-by-play here, but I got so wrapped up in the beauty of that run. That was just an excellent play. Look at the players.
Yeah, he's down and they're jumping on him.
That's the serious injury you have to worry about right there.
And John, I'm entitled to another one, and that's why he's there, John.
And I'll stay silent about the whole issue. I was just admiring the great run. It was a nice block throw in there. I didn't catch his number. Was able to spring Forte loose.
That was a paid announcement by Phil Hill.
And kind of breaks this game open now, doesn't it, John?
Well, I would say so. 27-8. Levine on for the extra point.
How many yards on that interception? We got to get that.
Oh,
Whoops.
Greenberg, a little trouble with the snap. You know, he deserves to get one in the end zone after the fine job he's been doing holding the ball.
All year.
But it'll stay 27-8 as Forte goes about 70 yards with that interception.
Okay, that's good enough.
Just to bring this full circle, Phil, if there was another athlete out there, he would have had the chance.
Boy, I don't think we heard the end of this one, have we?
Not at all.
Oh, well. I know one thing, Marcus Borden won't talk to me ever again.
Well,
Boy, two nice scores here in the second half have really given East Brunswick a comfortable cushion. Piscataway was really doing a nice job first half, and but the Bears made the adjustment. This is the situation now.
And you have to say something about Forte's play there. I mean,
we already have, John.
Well, I mean, we said a lot about the fact that why he was out there, but
yeah,
the skill, his running skill, his ability to cut back, good vision of the field. And there was some talk, just as a sideline to all this, about Penn State liking Forte very much, but possibly as a linebacker. And that, I don't know how true that is, but Levine will put it into the end zone, and Cook will have to stay right there with it.
Well, Dan puts his first kick of the afternoon into the end zone. Boy, it had height on it and everything else.
4:37 to go in the third period. East Brunswick with a very comfortable 27-8
and you can
lead.
Expect to see a lot of balls in the air right now by Piscataway.
Now, I will say this. If Forte comes out now and plays defense, I've got to wonder.
I hear you. You can look for number 22, John Motley, to get some attention, to receive some passes, because Kearney is receiving that double coverage, so they got to go to someone else.
Well, and Piscataway has to resort to the pass.
1st and 10 for the Chiefs on their own 20. Motley and Kearney to the right. But it's going to be Cook up the middle. He'll pick up close to 5 yards.
And that run was to keep them honest. They'll be throwing, no doubt about it.
Clock down to 4:15 in the third period. East Brunswick breaking this game wide open in what was a relatively close game, 14-8 to start this third period.
Number 23, Tim Weaver, in for Motley now, so let's see if he latches onto something.
And Rulo is right with Kearney.
Kearney comes out to the right side. Weaver in motion. Payne sets.
Ooh, he's open.
Looks over the middle. Kearney's got it. Takes a hit. He's still on his feet.
Look at his speed.
Wow.
I don't know if anyone's going to catch him. Trent is the only one that has an angle on him. And Rahman will take him out of bounds just shy of the East Brunswick 20.
Boy, that started as a simple square in.
Just a tremendous
slant
athlete.
Pass, and Kearney just turned it on.
And Rahman Trent, outside of myself and Brian Forte, probably the only people in the stadium that could have caught him then, John.
That was my thoughts exactly, Phil.
Nice job by Rahman,
yeah,
using the pursuit of an angle of pursuit to stop Kearney from going in.
In fact, I was watching Rahman, and he wasn't really doing much, and I was wondering if he was going to get in gear there, but when you have speed.
Well, the coaches teach the angle of pursuit, and Rahman did it perfectly then to cut him off to stop Kearney from going in for a touchdown.
Official timeout.
Sean Smith coming off.
Smith, yeah.
Sean Smith was hurt last week he had a groin injury last week in the Perth Amboy game, and that may be aggravating him right now, and I don't know.
Anyway, it's 1st and 10 for the Chiefs. The ball on the East Brunswick, let's call it the 23. And they'll have it 1st and 10, looking to get on the board and add to their 8 points. They trail 27-8. And they've got to take advantage of this opportunity. Weaver to the right, a delayed draw here with Cook. And Cook will pick up maybe 2 yards.
Dave Clark just blew right by him. Didn't even realize Cook had the ball.
I'll tell you, a fine tackle, however, by Matt Pazinko. And John, we had a little fun with listening to Matt's older brother, Glenn home from school. And like most older brothers, being very critical of the young Matt out there. But you knew he loved every minute of it. He was very proud of his young brother, the sophomore playing linebacker. The great Glenn Pazinko home from North Carolina.
North Carolina.
But Mom Pazinko kept him honest. 2nd and 8 for the Chiefs. Ball on East Brunswick 22. Quick pitch to Cook. Cook going outside. Trent is there.
And Ramon Trent with the tackle.
Trent's doing it on both sides of the ball.
He has impressed me this afternoon as a defensive back.
Leave Chiefs with a 3rd down, 3 yards to go. Big play for them. 2:25 to go in the period.
Did you notice Dave Clark playing defensively there?
He's been in for a while.
Oh, yeah, he's been playing all afternoon.
Ashford, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Hack was the first one to get to him. And you got to believe that Piscataway will be going for this.
Bring up a 4th and 2. Down to 1:45, 3rd period.
That was a big play for Piscataway.
Pitch. Cook around the left side, looking for the opening.
Oh.
Still on his feet. He's got the 1st down, I believe.
Yeah, nice 2nd and 3rd effort by Cook.
1st down, Piscataway to keep the drive alive with 1:12 to go.
A.J. Cook, 5'7½", 167 pounds, showing a good effort there, fine effort there to pick up that 1st down.
Keeps the drive alive. Piscataway trailing 27-8. Need this touchdown. It's been a big 3rd quarter for the Bears. Dave Goldstein started off with a 30-yard run up the middle for a score, and Brian Forte, playing defense, picked off an aerial by Payne and went 70 yards for the other score. This is Cook, off tackle. Picks up 3 yards. Ball inside the 10 for Piscataway.
Casanelli and Mark Harmon on the tackle. Both teams having some pretty good success this afternoon running the ball, and I have to credit that to the offensive lines.
.32 seconds now. 3rd period. That's Weaver in motion. Payne has it, trying to pitch, he drops the ball.
That's
Rulo's got it.
Yeah.
East Brunswick comes up with their 4th turnover of the game and snuffs out a Piscataway threat.
Boy, turnovers in a large way have really told the story of this game.
And I tell you, Mark Rulo in the right place, getting a hug by Harry Morris as he comes off the field. Mark Rulo has played a steady game at linebacker. Matter of fact, ever since he's come back from his injury, he's been real steady.
That's the 5th turnover, John. We forgot that interception over
Yes,
down here,
right.
I believe.
5. The one that Phil staged. 4 seconds, and this should be it for the Bears. They get the play off. Goldstein. That'll end the 3rd period. And East Brunswick will look at the last 12 minutes with a 27-8 lead.
Well, East Brunswick really relying on their offense. Just one series that quarter, that a successful drive. And then, of course, the interception accounting for the other score for East Brunswick, too.
And I think if you're Piscataway, you're sitting there playing the game of what if.
And we got to go back to what we talked about at the beginning of the year. It really says quite a bit for the GMC. Again, Piscataway coming out of the Mid-State Conference and playing teams like Somerville and Franklin and so forth. And no doubt about it, they're good teams. But overall, as far as balance again, I think it's a clear statement that the Greater Middlesex Conference is probably one of the best in the state.
Yeah, the GMC is really just top-notch in my estimation. You try to watch the other teams around the counties, but I think the real gauge is when you look at them out of conference. And, of course, we have to discount the Cherokee game. It was a very disappointing loss, but still in all, with Madison Central in there. And, of course, the opponent next week, J.P. Stevens, they are 4-0, by the way. Undefeated, kind of snuck up on everybody. Nobody really thought that the Hawks would be a contender this year, but until somebody knocks them off, they're in it.
All right, the Bears come out. It's 2nd and 8. Ball on their own 15. Charleston to the right. A little confusion in the backfield between Goldstein and Forte. In fact, Goldstein loses a yard, so it'll bring up 3rd and 9. Ball now on the East Brunswick 14. Giroux and Trent go wide left. Potter in as the tight end. Forte, DeVito. And number 76 for Piscataway, that's Derek Copin. Derek almost took the handoff.
He was right there, and he's a big kid, 265 pounds.
So East Brunswick moving back on this offensive series. Forte will be punting from his own end zone. Cook and Grant go back for the Chiefs. 4th period action. The Bears on top 27-8.
Looks like they're coming.
Good snap.
Whoa.
Oh, and we're going to have a flag as Forte was hit.
Well, this is all for naught here.
Yeah, Cook.
Let him go.
And Coach Higgins really must be beside himself.
Yeah.
Out of all things that could happen, why would you want to hit the punter?
Mike McClellan, number 83 for Piscataway.
Sophomore mistake.
Ran into Forte. That'll be 1st down for East Brunswick. They'll get the ball back.
Oh, and that hurts. If Piscataway had any opportunity to come back, they needed the ball, and they would have gotten it in good field position.
The Piscataway players, they're a little stunned over there on the right side. They don't know what's happening yet. They're just realizing that.
Well, I think what they were waiting for, John, is that 15 yards is being marked off, and they were just a little uncertain as to whether or not it would be an automatic 1st down. But
it is.
As things have been going for the Chiefs this afternoon, they just made it by a half yard.
So East Brunswick will have it. 1st and 10, the ball on their own 22-yard line. 10:30 to go in the game. Giroux and Trent split. Ball fumbled. I think Piscataway has it. They do.
Well,
so East Brunswick all of a sudden looking awfully cold, if you will, on offense.
I'm wondering, is Brian feeling okay out there? He just looks a little lethargic. Even on the handoffs, he doesn't look like he's been, snappy like he usually is. And maybe he is starting to feel the effects of that hit from the 1st half.
So nothing really of a loss in terms of field position for Piscataway. In fact, they gained a little bit. So they have it 1st and 10 on the East Brunswick 22. Payne looking in the corner for Carney. Carney slips. Ball goes by him, incomplete.
Boy, and Trent played that nice. He really did.
He played it nice, but if Carney doesn't slip, he's got that ball.
Still plenty of time.
9:46. I think from Piscataway's standpoint, they needed that score right at the end of the third period.
Yeah.
They'll bring up 2nd and 10. Chiefs looking to get something going here in the 4th period. They trail 27-8. Carney to the right along with Motley. Payne looking once more for the end zone. This is for McClellan. Overthrown. McClellan, the young man who hit Forte on the punting situation.
Harmon back in position to defend that play.
McClellan, a sophomore, 6'3", 180 pounds. You have to wonder why they don't use him a little bit more, at least to get him experience.
And Phil, you'll be happy to know Forte's going back in on defense.
Nickelback, along with Pilato.
Carney will go to the right. Pilato and Forte will keep their eyes on him. Payne, the screen set up to
that was a
Cook.
nice play.
Good call. Cook juking his way down inside the 15-yard line.
He's close to the first down, but I'm not quite sure he's got it.
I tell you, Mark Harmon played it very nice. They threw a nice block on him. He played off the block to make that tackle.
Short of the first down, it'll be 4th and 2, and you know Piscataway has to go for it. 9:14 left in the game.
Pilato, Forte coming out, along with Goldstein, and Joe Hankins and Bernardi coming back in.
I thought it was a good call, Phil.
It was. Good effort by Mark Harmon to
Yep.
keep him from getting that first down.
East Brunswick expecting a run here, judging on the defense they're playing. Good opportunity for Piscataway to try to go for it all in this play.
Look for that little slant in to Carney. Now they'll pitch it, and to Cook, who drops it, and Bernardi, I think, picked it up.
Yeah.
And what a season this guy's having.
Scott Brunati.
Counted as a fumble, six
turnovers.
turnover. And that has spelled the story for Piscataway this afternoon. So East Brunswick coming up again with a big play. Brian Forte still in there.
Okay, last 5 possessions, they've done nothing with the ball. Let's see what happens.
Reverse.
Ooh. Picks up a first down.
Yeah, he just gets a first down on that play. Wondering why they're showing that play at this time.
My excitement, my glasses went and everything over the edge. So.
And the fans are starting to filter out now. This game seems to be well in hand for East Brunswick.
8-13. 1st and 10 for the Bears. Handoff to Goldstein. Goldstein will lose a few yards. And East Brunswick having a little trouble running the ball now late in the game.
Well, they seem to cooled off, as Jimmy said.
Yeah, the intensity is definitely not there. And I think if we look at this critically, I think we'll have to say that if the score ends 27-8, and admittedly there's a lot of time, that East Brunswick's done its job today.
Feldman now out wide to the right, Drew to the left. Goldstein sneaks his way through, close to the 35.
I tell you, Goldstein, he hunches over like a lot of good backs do, and he ducks down behind that line and you can't see him, and just picks up good yardage.
Well, he has a low center of gravity is what it is, and it's just really tough to bring him down.
3rd and about 5 for the Bears. Ball on their own 35. Forte, short drop, looks outside to Feldman. Feldman's got it. Gets by 1 in the first down near midfield.
Michael Feldman, a nice catch and a nice artistic move, and why not? Michael's mother is an art teacher at Memorial School. I met her at open house the other night. So an artistic catch.
Artistic catch.
By Mike Feldman.
I thought it was more of the hands variety, Phil. Nonetheless, that's Forte's 3rd completion this afternoon.
First down, East Brunswick, just shy of midfield. Clock down to 7:08. Goldstein.
Ooh.
Cuts and slashes his way for close to 5 yards.
Well, who does he remind you of, Jimmy? I mean,
He reminds me of Billy Brunig.
Billy Brunig, someone else though. Was it Fisher? Was
Joey Fisher?
for East Brunswick?
Well, Fisher was the quarterback a number of years ago.
No.
Well, we'll research this one off the air.
It's another back, I believe, for the Bears some years ago.
2nd down. Forte going to put it up in the air.
Giroux.
Flicks it out to Giroux, who's got it. Joe Giroux still on his feet. And wrestled down inside the 10-yard line. First and goal for the Bears.
Well, that's the 35-yard pass play. That's the longest pass play today from scrimmage for East Brunswick.
And Marcus Borden is saying, welcome to Tom Higgins. Welcome to the GMC.
Really?
Boy, in a big way, too.
Somewhat surprised, but East Brunswick looking to get one more. Clock running, 6:10. Trent and
Piscataway
Greenberg.
calling timeout, John.
And the Chiefs will take a timeout.
Yeah, it's interesting that East Brunswick is not holding anything back here.
Well, why should they? They have the big one coming up next week, which is always a big one, in J.P. Stevens. And quite frankly, despite the score, the Bears haven't been so very sharp, so they need to hone their skills as much as they can.
Yeah, I think there's, where we're all pointing to a game October 28th in Old Bridge playing the Madison Central Spartans, but boy, you cannot look ahead to this game next week against J.P. Stevens. The Hawks have not been winning by huge margins this year. They were only able to beat Saraville by a 3-0 score, and then last Friday night, I believe, they were able to eke out a 20-18, or Saturday night it was, 20-18 victory over Perth Amboy, who East Brunswick handled rather well.
Well, Jimmy, the fact of the matter is, if you take away a few good field goals in wet weather by Dan Levine and a busted play where we scored, we only beat Saraville 15-0. So
right.
You really can't measure by that. The fact of the matter is, Tony Simonelli will have J.P. Stevens ready, and it's always a big game for the Bears.
That's the point.
We need to be as sharp as we possibly can be.
All right, that Stevens game should be very interesting next week.
And we'll be there at J.P. Stevens High School.
What a formation here.
Kind of like an eye, isn't it?
Okay, it's not so very strange now that I look at it again.
Forte, I believe, is calling an audible. And Goldstein, nice hole, touchdown, Dave Goldstein, his 3rd of the day.
Yeah, give an assist to Brian Forte on that. He saw the opening on the right side of the line, and audible, just as you said, John.
9-yard score for Goldstein.
And Dave Goldstein, for the 3rd game in a row, has scored 3 touchdowns. So quite a performance by the young man. Quite a performance.
Yep. And a couple of nice passes in that drive by Brian Forte. One for 11 yards going to Feldman, and that 35-yard long gainer to Goldstein. Excuse me, Giroux.
Greenberg has trouble with the snap again. No extra point. So East Brunswick will come away with the 6 to make it 34-8.
I'll tell you have to wonder what the deal is there. They've been doing great all year on the snaps and the holds, and 2 in this game here where they just never got off. Something they're going to have to work on.
And they will. So this game is pretty much out of reach now. That clock reads 6:03, John?
That's right. That's it to go in this game. East Brunswick kind of putting a whooping, if you will, on Piscataway at this point.
Boy, if there's one thing that we've learned, that if East Brunswick seems to be somewhat confused in the first half of some games, they really turn it around in the second half.
Well, it's a credit to the coaching staff, and it's also a credit to these young men who are able to make those adjustments.
Very resilient. Impressed with the way Forte has returned in the second half.
Levine to kick it off. It's 34-8, even though I believe the scoreboard has it as 33. No, it is 33. I'm sorry.
Ooh, that ball
And
bounced
Cook
in.
lets it go, but into the end zone, thank God, because that would have been anyone's ball. I stand corrected. It's 33-8. Regardless, Piscataway really is out of it at this point. And East Brunswick will now start to look toward J.P. Stevens next week at Stevens High School.
That's a Friday night game, and boy, it would be great to get a good following for that one. I think the Bears are going to need the support. They got some rough sledding ahead of them with the Stevens game first, and then, of course, the game next Friday, October 28th at Oldbridge. And boy, I think the state's going to be watching that one.
Piscataway coming out now, 1st and 10 on their own 20. New quarterback in, and that's Grant, number 11.
Yeah, Piscataway made it a game for a while. They really did, and with those 6 turnovers, certainly a major factor in turning it around for East Brunswick. But Phil, I'm going to go back and I'm going to agree with you. GMC is a whole lot different than the Mid-State.
At least for Piscataway it is.
Well, they seem to have the makings, though, of a nice little team. I wouldn't count them out for too long. Grant, you could hardly see him underneath the center. And this is Cook. And he does have some speed.
East Brunswick not resting the first team here. Everybody's in.
Well, it's a good opportunity to play a little run defense. Even though you would think Piscataway will put the ball in the air, we don't know anything about Grant in terms of his passing arm. 1st and 10 for Piscataway. Ball at the East Brunswick 36.
Whoops.
Fumble by Grant. Picks it up.
Here comes the Bears. Oh, gosh.
And he's looking for some help. Finds some help, still on his feet.
Unbelievable.
And it's close to a first down. That looked a little bit like Sandlot ball.
That looked like survival. That's what it was. And he picked up some good yardage nevertheless.
And they gave him the first down. Stops the clock as they move the chains.
That was in the playbook, I bet.
Well, the clock keeper obviously wants to get out of here. He never stopped the clock on the first down. We're down to 4:15. Bears on top 33-8. Yet it was only 14-8 at halftime. So a big 3rd and 4th period here for the Bears. A little swing pass here to Cook. And Cook gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Nice play by Rulo, containing the coverage there. And we'll watch for some of the East Brunswick regulars to leave the field and perhaps get a well-deserved hand. And we see Scott Kammerer in there now. I haven't seen him play all afternoon.
And he played a heck of a game in the Perth Amboy game last week.
Yeah.
He did. 2nd down for the Chiefs. Grant floats one up to McClellan, who holds onto it and takes a hard hit.
Harmon on that hit. And some more new faces. Pilato has been playing a lot this afternoon, but Craig Borgen, number 8. He is a junior. He will be in the defensive backfield. I saw 45 Todd Pekar. He's another junior at linebacker.
First down, Piscataway, 3 minutes to go. Ball on the East Brunswick 42. Grant takes a deep drop and decides he's going to run with this.
Ooh.
And just squirts forward, but he's going to lose about 3 yards.
That appeared as though it was an intentional flare to Cooks, but he was well covered, and quarterback had to keep with the ball. Mark Harmon coming to the sidelines.
And doing a fine job as always.
And here comes Smith also. Very nice game.
Grant again looking and deciding to run.
Shifty.
Well, Tom Johankins was going headhunting on that one.
Grant's only a sophomore, and you may want to build an offense, a wishbone offense around this young man.
He's very shifty.
We're still not sure if he can throw the ball, but no doubt about his quickness. And time winding down here. East Brunswick will go 4-1, and we'll be looking at J.P. Stevens next week, while Piscataway will drop to 1-4. 3rd and 10 for the Chiefs. Ball on the East Brunswick 41. Grant, that little slant and knocked up in the air.
Whoa, almost intercepted.
Good defensive play.
Yeah, that was Pekar. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. It's spelled P-E-C-H-A-R. He was right there.
And you have a chance to see the East Brunswick cheerleaders. Unfortunately, we don't get a chance to showcase them that too much, but fine bunch of athletes in their own right.
That's for sure. They work hard enough.
They work real hard at it. Phil and I hear a lot about it, too. Anyway, Grant, slant in, looking for Motley.
Scott Kramer breaking that pass up there. Camera.
110. And the ball will go over to East Brunswick.
Right, looks like the Bears will get the ball one final time here.
And will Forte come out? Jimmy White comes back out. I'm glad to see that.
Excuse me.
Jimmy White is a sophomore, 5'7", 155.
Still growing.
And he'll have a chance to practice his handoffs, I would think.
I wonder if is that Troy's brother. We'll have to find that out.
White missed it, but he's going to run.
He's running.
He looked like he's looking to pass.
Sure, that's one thing Borden didn't want to see. And the clock's running. Down to 54 seconds. I'd be surprised if Piscataway takes a timeout. There's really no need for it.
Well, this will not be run up in the statistics as a fine passing afternoon for Brian Forte, but I'll tell you what, he only threw 3 passes in the second half. He completed them all.
Let me say this, too, as we watch the closing minutes of this game, and White hand off to Casanelli, that the East Brunswick players looked at dedicating this season to Matt Black. They came out with number 10 on their helmet, and they've really have started on the way to that by their performance today. And I think these young men will remember this game for a long, long time.
Yes, they will.
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah, I was going to say they needed to control their emotions this afternoon, and to a great extent, I think they did. And it's a credit to every member of the East Brunswick organization.
The final here from J. Doyle Field, East Brunswick 33, Piscataway 8. And gentlemen, any closing remarks?
Well, I have to look ahead now. I think what the Bears can put behind this game, look at it with a lot of satisfaction of what they're able to accomplish, and look at the task ahead. They have two critical, well, this is going to be the season right here, and these next 2 games are going to decide whether or not the team makes the playoffs, and that, after all, is their #1 goal, to qualify for the playoffs.
Phil?
I think the storyline has to be how the Bears responded today after such a very tragic week, and they've responded well, and they're looking ahead to J.P. Stevens, which should be a super match next week.
Okay, we'll wrap it up then. From J. Doyle Field, the Bears go 4-1. They'll move on to J.P. Stevens. And for Jim Allender and Phil Hill, I'm John Meggiolaro saying thanks for being with us.